eyes wide open. We're heading deep into the Appalachian Mountains. Appalachia has no shortage of eerie and chilling folklore the locals swear by. Don't forget to subscribe and let's take a look.
Here by myself tonight because it's storming and Grayson couldn't come. So I'm by myself and I'm kind of a little bit scared. And guess where I live? The Appalachian Mountains. And Grayson was trying to get me to shovel this poop out. No, I'm not doing it. He should have come if he wanted the poop shoveled. Do I look like I shovel poop? Right now I look like I do, but normally... Can you stop? I got the thing on there. Oh, my legs are cramping. She's screaming at me and she's trying to eat my hand, yet when I got here, her thing was still full of food. Also, the power was out earlier. So Grayson thought that the power was still going to be out. Well, the power here is not out, but the power in, like, town before I got here, it was pitch black in town. And I was so scared. Okay, I ran back to the door because I'm scared. I'm scared of a skinwalker. I got in safe. Alright. Time to blast.
This is a story about the time my brother saw a skinwalker and didn't react like a normal person would. And this is the story about my brother and the night that a skinwalker was in his yard. It's important to know that I overreact and my brother completely underreacts. He calls me, he's just very chill, and he said, "Hey, I just saw the weirdest thing in my yard. I'm going to tell you about it and you tell me what you think." So I'm like, "Okay, what'd you see? What was it?" And he said, "Well, there was a helicopter flying over my house," which is normal. That happens a lot around here. And I said, "Okay, yeah, and?" And he said, "Well, they had the spotlight out and they were shining it on my front door." It was weird. So I go to the front door and I'm looking at them and they're looking at me, and then they just kind of circle around a little bit and then they leave. So I figure that something must be outside if they're out there circling, what were they looking for? So now he's got my attention because I'm like, what were they looking for? And he lives out in the country, but not way out in the country. He lives on a main road, right? And he has neighbors and stuff, but it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So of course he takes this when he goes outside, right? Well, it has a light on it. So he said he's scanning around looking when he lands on this thing. What kind of thing? I don't know. It was weird. Just that sentence alone already had me on high alert, because for Grant to say something's weird, and I knew it was about to be really weird. So he starts to describe it. So when the light hits it, it's on all fours, right? But it has glowing eyes, and its face looked like a human face kind of, and it had no hair on it, and it was this slick, wet looking thing. Me being me that knows everything about ghosts and paranormal and weird stuff, I immediately knew what he was talking about. Go on. So I'm looking at it. It's looking at me. But then it stands up. Stands up? Stood up? Yeah, it stands up like a person. And its front arms were long. And it's gaunt looking. And then it turns, runs, and jumps the neighbor's fence. That fence is 15, 20 feet tall? Yeah, and it was 7, 8 feet tall. What do you think that was? Just very nonchalant. So I yell into the phone, "Oh my God, you saw a skinwalker." What's that? What'd you say it was? A skinwalker? What's a skinwalker? Before I send you a picture of it, I'm going to need you to draw it for me. Draw it, send it to me, and I'll send you what it looks like. Let's send it at the same time because I want to see if it's what I think it is. My brother is super artistic, so I give him a second and he draws this and sends it to me. So he said this is what it started out as. And then it stood up to this. So then I send him this. I send him this and he says, "Yeah, That's it. That's what it is. Huh. That's all you got to say to that? Well, I mean, that's weird. I've never heard of that. Huh, how about that? All right, well, I'm going to bed. And he hung up.
To start it off, our entire property was like fenced in, and like our house was in the dead middle of it. Behind the house was, and to the side were like woods, like thick woods. I was sitting on the front porch and I heard Ben say Sarah, but it was kind of like, it was quiet. So I'm like, what? I didn't hear anything. So then I heard it again. I heard Sarah, but it was like a little bit louder this time. And I'm like, what? So I text Ben and I'm like, first of all, where are you and what do you need? He's like, what are you talking about? I'm in the bathroom. I said, you didn't just say my name twice? He's like, no. Then I heard it again. And it was, hey, Sarah, with a whistle, like a sharp whistle. I said, nah, I'm out. I went in the house, shut the doors, closed the blinds. Here's another story.
So I was on the trampoline and my two sisters were on the front porch. And then I'm just jumping, having a good time, about to go inside. And then I hear, hey, Kennedy. And it sounded exactly like my little brother. And I'm like, what? And he's like, Kennedy, come look at this. And it was behind the house. So, and I was like, wait, he's not outside. He's like in the house doing something. And I'm like, okay, no, I'm going inside. And then I walked up to the girls and I was like, did you hear that? Did you hear Sawyer calling my name? And they were like, no, we didn't hear anything.
So for reference, the trampoline was in the very front of the property, and we're hearing stuff from behind the house again, back towards the woods. Here's another story.
We were having a bonfire one time, and it was like our house, our bonfire, and then the woods, like behind the house. And I was sitting there, and all of a sudden I hear her, like, crying almost, like, Lori, come help me, I'm stuck. And so I got scared, and I started crying, and everybody was like, Lori, what's wrong? Because nobody else heard it, only me.
So when it comes to the Skinwalkers, we never had one actually step foot on our property, but as you've heard me talk, like, our property was protected. But you do hear them, and they do mimic people that you know, so that you walk out. Luckily, we were smart enough that we're like, something's not right. So just like going into the house, shutting the doors, it's time to close the blinds. It's time to chill out for the night. When you hear the whistle, I think is the worst part, but they make it sound like it's something that is like it needs, like, you have to get here now. So like Sawyer calling Kennedy or Kennedy calling Lori, that's something that they put a hurry on it so that your emotions overtake and then you run. Luckily, we're not stupid and we didn't run, so we're all here to tell the story.
Yo, this is the story time of when I seen a Skinwalker at an abandoned church. So let me tell y'all what happened. Basically, look, it was me and my homeboy Alex and this girl named Autumn, right? We were all chilling in the car. Autumn was asleep in my car. Mind you, I had a drop top foreign coupe. Let's start there, right? Me and Alex were on the back of the car. We was drinking, smoking, all that razzle jazzy, you feel me? Cigs and, Smirnoffs and whatnot, right? I kid you not. Or not Smirnoffs, it was beers. I kid you not, bro. I feel like this energy, this essence, like this presence or whatnot, right? And it's freaky. Like, I'm freaked out a little bit. Cause it's like, I feel like my thoughts are being impeded on. Like, I'm getting all these weird visional of like things that aren't there, you feel me? I turned my head, bro, it was like this 8-foot tall dark creature with like these flailing little fingers. Like, he was just flailing his fingers, but them fingers were big, they weren't little. You know what I'm saying? But he was skinny. I couldn't see his face like at all. It was just pure darkness, you feel me? And mind you, this is like a street that, like, when you go into that street, it's straight darkness after the first bit of light. We were at an abandoned church. I didn't even realize at the time it was abandoned because we were just trying to find somewhere to park and drink and smoke at, you feel me? So look, I see this little creature flailing. I tell my bro Alex, cause like I jump off the back of the car. I tell my bro Alex, I'm like, look over there. He sees it. He's like, what the f is that? Like, what is that? You feel me? So then I'm trying to get into the car so we could take off cause I'm not waiting around, boy. At this point in time, I had to be 16. I had no pole, nothing. I was naked. that, bro. I was not getting got by no creepy, freaky spiritual thing or whatever that was. You feel me? But the vibe was evil, bro. Like the essence was evil of that thing, bro. So look, I try to get in the car, but this Autumn is asleep in the passenger seat, right? And I'm in a drop top coupe. So for you to get into the back of the car, so for me to put my boy Alex in the back of the car, I had to lift up Autumn's seat. You feel me? So I have to wake her up. I'm like, shh, get up, woo woo, this, that. She like, what you mean get up? I'm like, bro, there's something over there. She sees it. She freaking out. I get Alex in the car. You feel me? We gotta drive past this creature to get home, mind you, right? We drive past, right? I kid you not, you couldn't see its face. Like, it's like it had no face. Like, it was just non-existent. So I dropped Autumn off home. She all tired or whatnot because she was sleeping in the car. So then Alex turned to me. He like, bro, can we just ride around for a little bit, or could I go to your house? I'm scared. Like, there's no poles in my house, this and that. I'm like, nah, bro, you gotta go to your crib, bro. I'm out. I drop him off home. I go back to my dad's house, bro. I was chilling. I was safe. I told my dad what happened, bro. It was the freakiest moment of my life.
Recently, I encountered something unlike anything that I have ever experienced, and it shook me to my core. And I've waited a while to tell it on here. I wanted to make sure nothing else happened and all the energy was gone before I fed more energy into it. So, come with me on a terrifying 24 hours a few weeks ago. So, I don't know if it's related of what happened the night before, but I'm going to tell you about it anyways. So, my husband and I take my dog walking. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, was it like 11 p.m., midnight or so?
Yeah, it was like way after sunset.
Yeah. So, we take our dog walking through our neighborhood, literally just in the parking lot, like down to the mailboxes and back. I don't think either of us even took our phones. It is such a short walk. I cannot stress that enough. It's not weird that we didn't take our phones. So we're out walking and we start hearing this weird sound. Kind of sounds like a screech, kind of sounds like a whistle. I couldn't really pinpoint it, and we were like, okay, let's get back inside. So our dog notices it. We're like, okay, let's get back inside. So we come back inside. We're upstairs here later on, and we hear what kind of sounds like that noise, but sounds more like coyotes. But it still didn't really sound like coyotes. But we're both like, oh, that's what we heard. It's a good thing we brought our dog inside. She was on a leash, of course, but like, I don't want to fight off a coyote. So anyways, we go to bed. Everything's fine. The next day, we are picking up an order from Sam's Club. And this is where stuff gets weird. So we're picking up an order from Sam's Club, and I just feel like something is watching me. You ever just feel like that in public? You're like, someone's staring at me. I feel that. I look over, I am sitting in the driver's seat, and I look over to my left, and in the passenger seat of the car beside of us is an older woman. Now, this older woman has hair, it's on the longer side. I can't really describe it from memory now. I don't really remember much of what it looks like, but I remember her face. And her face looked like it had burn marks. That's the only way I can describe it, okay? So I look over at her. She is staring at me. I'm like, okay, well, that is none of my business. I also took note that no one was in the driver's seat, and she's also parked in one of these curbside spots, so someone should be in the driver's seat, but they're not. Anyways, the worker comes out. My husband gets out of the car. He runs, to help at the back, help them load the car. So while the hatch is open in this car, I can hear surrounding areas, and I just hear someone saying, "Sir," repeatedly. No one's answering. So the hatch gets closed, my husband gets back in, the worker's gone back inside to get the rest of our stuff, and I asked my husband, I'm like, did someone say sir? Who was talking? And he said, yes, that woman in the car beside of us was calling sir. He said he initially did not answer because he thought she was talking to the worker. And whenever the worker walked away and she kept saying it, he turned and the woman did this. Apparently, she smiled really wide at him. He described it as an unnatural smile and said she got down at the window and did this with her finger. He was like, I know it was rude, but I looked at this woman and said, no, and got in the car because it scared me. And I was like, fair enough, man. I would have done the same thing. So we wait a second. The worker comes back out. He gets back out, finishes loading the car, and she didn't say anything else, did she? So he gets back in the car, but while they are loading the second time, I am unnerved. So I get out my phone and I act like I'm just scratching my nose, but I have my phone camera on. So I have the outward camera on and I go up to my nose and I'm doing this and I put it back down and I get the woman a little bit on camera. It's a little blurry. I'm not going to show the full footage. I will show the screenshot of her zoomed in face though.
because it doesn't look like the face that I saw, and quite frankly, it doesn't look right. But here's that picture. So anyways, moving on, we are now doing something else. We are riding around, and I take note of this woman in her yard. It looks like she's gardening, and we were driving, we were coming up on her. She was like on the driver's side, like I saw her on this side, and I was looking at her. She was not moving. Her pants looked strange. Like I thought they were gauchos, but it looked like they were pants and they turned into a skirt, but it literally looked like a video game that hadn't rendered yet. I'm not kidding. But she's not moving. And we drive past her, and the way the road is, she's right here, and we have to do this number. So after we pass her, I turn to my husband, and I'm like, something is weird. That woman was not moving. And I tell him to look up. I'm like, you need to look at her when we drive past again. So we do. I expect her to be moving, like maybe she was just like looking at something. No, not moving. Holding something in her hands, not moving. Frozen in time. So we drive away. I start seeing the same make and model car driving together, like 2 and 2 together, repeatedly. Something was wrong. Something was so wrong that we went home. I don't know what was going on that day, but I know the next few days, really bad luck followed, didn't it? Like, we had the worst time. I have been in a mental headspace that I haven't been in a while. I don't know if it's equated. Thankfully, we're doing better now. We did cleansings. We're good. I don't know what I experienced, and I am open to any interpretations or explanations. I don't think I need advice. I think everything's okay now, but I don't know what that was.
Corey, this one will freak you out.
Okay.
So the story goes, this guy is pig hunting and he's using a thermal scope. He's been on this field all night, hasn't seen anything move. He's like, you know what? I'm going to get up from this tree. He's like on some brush and he's like, I'm going to go across the field. And he's sitting there for a while. And then out of nowhere, a little blob shows up. He's like, here we go. The pigs are coming in. He's locked in. He's ready, for the thing to show itself. But then it gets up and he realizes that this infrared blob is humanoid. And he said it appears to look like a naked human. Goes over to the tree that he was just sitting against and starts checking it out or sniffing it. And the guy is across the field just going like, I don't understand what I'm looking at. Then the thing is on all fours, postures up like it's about to howl. And then in a woman's voice goes, help! Oh gosh. Help! Continues to do it. The dude fires one way over the top of this thing's head. And then it goes, I'm injured, help! And then he sends another one. It runs and he sends a couple and he's like, it ran away from where my truck is, goes back to his truck, never goes in that field again.
Yeah, I hate that so much.
Said it was a naked humanoid, crawled up and was sniffing the tree the dude was just sitting on. It had been stalking him.
In the middle of the night?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Why are you putting me in the car? A bite? No, don't get out. Where is he going? No! 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 Come in. Let's go. Come on. Are you sure we can eat that?
Do y'all feel like the car grew?
No.
Like, did you notice that? Like, we were at the end when we got in.
Do you notice we're rolling backwards? Oh, God. What's that? What's what?
Never mind.
Stop.
Guys, oh my God. That's literally a troll. Look, he's moving. Oh my God. Wow. Oh my God, what the fuck?
Bunch of bones scattered. It's like a trail just leading me. That was a bone I just broke. Bro, is that my fork? Hello? What the Yep, nope, I'm good. Oh, parkour. Oh. Oh, that's briar bushes. Nope. Not the way I wanted to go. Oh.
How did Rocky get upstairs, then without making a sound?
There you are. Come on. Rocky, where'd you go? Rocky? Come on, dude. Rocky? The hell? Is it a cat? Rocky? What are you doing up there? I thought you were down here. Rocky.
Viewers are convinced the dog you see in this video isn't Rocky at all. If that's true, then what exactly came back into the house? In the clip, the owner sends Rocky out into the dark woods behind the house. But almost immediately, something feels wrong. Rocky stops at the edge of the yard, frozen, ears up, tail low. Then there's a faint sound, something crying out in the distance. It kind of sounds like a cat, but not quite. As she searches, there's no bark, no footsteps, just silence. But somehow, Rocky is suddenly upstairs, behind her. He never passed by. There were no stairs creaking, no collar jingling, nothing, just there. People watching the video are convinced that's not Rocky. That's something pretending to be him, a mimic, a skinwalker, something old, something dangerous, something that waits in the dark for the door to be left open. And if it can become your dog without making a sound, how would you ever know it's not really him?
Rocky? What are you doing up there? I thought you were down here. Rocky. Silly goose.
Well, anyway, bless his heart.
What is that?
That's weird.
What? What? What's my name? Oh no,
So shortly after this, my husband and I leave, and I tell my parents bye and walk out of the house before he does. So I walk down their front steps, and I'm walking down their pathway to get to my car, and something is wrong. Like I said, there's trees everywhere, and there's like a field with a bunch of trees to my right, and that is where this feeling is coming from. So I look straight ahead. I know I am not supposed to look to the side, and I get to the car, and as soon as I'm to the car door, I turn around because I hear my husband come outside. So I wait for him to make eye contact with me, and I do like this motion to tell him to like look straight ahead. And so he nods and he comes to the car, he opens my door, gets me inside, and then gets in the car. So we give each other a horrified glance and an unspoken agreement to not talk about it right now, and we drive away. So you have to drive through a bunch of woods to get out of that area and back to my house. So I knew this was not going to be fun. The entire drive was horrible. We had all of our windows up, and not too far into the drive, we started hearing whistling. But it was my whistle. It was me. It sounded like my weird whistle that I did. So we're hearing this all around us through the trees, because trees are on both sides of this road. But the issue is it sounded far away, which means that thing was close. So we keep our eyes straight. I don't look into the trees at all, and I just try to get out of there. This was not the first time I've been chased by this thing. The first time I didn't know, which made it a little less scary. This time I knew, and it was horrifying.
An Appalachian Skinwalker is much different than the Navajo Skinwalker. Okay, the first difference is that a Navajo Skinwalker, right, is conjured up by a medicine man, whereas an Appalachian Skinwalker is conjured up by a witch in the Appalachia who uses black magic. The other big difference between the Appalachian Skinwalker versus the native Skinwalker is that the Appalachian Skinwalker tends to take the form of objects, and a lot of time almost just comes as an invisible force that calls out to people or follows them or For instance, the Bell Witch, right? It wasn't a witch going after that family. It was a skinwalker that was conjured up to harm and, terrify that family. So I got a story for you. This is a true story now, and I'm going to show you a picture as well. So there's a man named Donald. Donald was an avid hunter and trapper. He lived near the North Carolina-Tennessee border up in the Appalachian Mountains. And one day, he's out hunting, and he's in the middle of the woods, and he set up, in this deer stand. And he'd been out there all day, and he's, had been hunting for the whole week, so he was getting tired. He falls asleep and dozes off. Well, when he awakes, it's now nighttime, and it's gotten dark. And as he's adjusting some things in his tree stand, all of a sudden, whoosh, he hears this loud thing move over the top of him through the trees, like it's some kind of large bird or something. And he thinks it's odd because, he hasn't seen, birds that big in that area. But then once again, whoosh, right? This big thing just passes over the top of him through the trees, and it's shaking all the branches. And then again, a third time. So, he gets down off his tree stand and is like, okay, it's time to head back to camp. As he starts, walking this trail back to camp, all of a sudden he hears something, say, Donald, Donald, hey, Donald, come play, and this voice just keeps calling to him. And he, is like freaking out. He's terrified. So he takes off running, and he's running as fast as he can. And all of a sudden, boom, he trips and he rolls. And he realizes he just tripped over this root that is sticking out of the ground. And when he looks up, he notices this big, eerie-looking tree. And, it has no leaves on it, but it has branches that almost look like hands, and it looks like it has a face. And this tree starts staring at him and opens its eyes, and he can see that this tree has taken some kind of physical, humanly form. And it starts reaching its branches down, and it grabs Donald, and it picks him up, and is shaking him and whipping him with the other branches. Well, Donald still manages to hold on to his rifle, and he just starts firing at the tree. And he manages to hit one of the branches that was holding his leg, and it basically breaks, and he falls to the ground. So he runs back to his cabin, and he gets inside, and he locks all the doors. And all night long, he can hear the tree lashing at the house, trying to get in. And the next morning, all is calm. But he notices outside, there's the tree. It has moved. It's next to the cabin. And he manages to take some pictures, which actually show the face in the tree. And this is the picture that Donald took.
You will not catch me messing around about skinwalkers. I was in the 6th grade when I had my first real encounter with the supernatural creature of Appalachia. I live in a small off-road in the middle of the woods. Only about 13 give or take houses are on my road, so it's quiet at night. When I was a child in Appalachia, I was taught things to avoid any supernatural confrontation, but it was bound to happen one day. Some rules that I learned were never be out alone after dark. If you see it, no you didn't. If you hear it, no you didn't. Things along those lines. It was January and I had gone over to my friend's house, who was about 3 houses away from mine, so it wasn't very far. But it was winter and the sun goes down early, and I had lost track of time. It was about 6 o'clock, but pitch black outside. When we realized how dark it was already, she offered for me to just sleep over, since she knew there was a possibility of me running into something supernatural. But I insisted I just walked home. She then offered to walk me home so I wouldn't be alone. Again, I said no. So I went outside into the frigid, icy air and walked home. I had my phone flashlight on so I could see. I walked home as normal, looking at the beautiful icicles and snow piles everywhere, and thought, I'll be just fine. I was wrong. My driveway to get down to my front door is steep, and it goes down fast at the end of the woods. It's woods for at least 5 miles back. I walked down slowly since there was ice everywhere, and then I heard rustling in the bushes at the bottom of the driveway, towards the woods. I pointed my flashlight and I saw a wolf, but it didn't look normal. Living in the Northeast, I see many wolves, but this one looked demented. Wolves don't strike at you or run up to you unless you provoke them, so I thought I would be okay. I was about halfway down my driveway, and every step I took, the wolf looked more and more demented. It had glowing eyes, and it was very big to just be a wolf. At that time, it started moving towards me, fast. Another rule I learned as a kid was to never run from one of these creatures, but I did run. My front door was locked, but I had the key in my hand. It took me what felt like forever to unlock it, as the key jiggled in the hole. My anxiety was so bad, and even though it was only 20 degrees out, I was sweating like crazy. Finally, the door unlocked, and I ran in. There's a window right next to my front door, and I looked out the window, and there it was. A skinwalker shape-shifted as a wolf. Its eyes were beady and cold. It was hungry. I looked away, scared of what would happen next. After about a minute, it was gone, never to be seen again. Every night for about 2 months after that, I was spooked to even close my eyes to sleep. It got so bad I had to start taking melatonin. I'm mostly fine now, but here and there, I still feel like this wolf is watching me. It still spooks me to this day.
What is an animal? Look, come here. I can see its eyes. Look at it. You can see it blink. Look. Right in front of me. Look.
I don't see it.
Look. It's looking right at us. Look. Look. What the is that?
I don't see nothing.
Babe, look.
I'm looking. What direction? Straight?
Oh my god. You didn't...
Up there?
Yes. Do you see it? It's walking now. It's blinking. As it's...
Oh, I see that. Like right directly in front of us?
Yes. Do you not see those two eyes?
Yeah.
What is that?
Mm-hmm. Nor do I care.
Remember when the Combs family was found in the Appalachians?
We all know it exists, so by the rules of the...
You can't say it in this type of area, bro!
I do all the time!
No, bro, I don't play about that.
Don't step off the trail.
It sounded like footprints or footsteps. I'm sure you guys can hear in the video. What the Dude, that was weird. Hello?
Dan heard unsettling noises from the woods once again, but found nothing, making the atmosphere eerie. Shaken yet determined to camp overnight, he returned to his site. Initially, everywhere seemed peaceful, but this peace was soon cut short.
What the... Dude, what was that? Trespassing, I will hear. Yo, dude, that... No way. No. Holy... Dude, that... What the... Dude, what... Yo, what are the chances of that? That was loud. That was stupid loud. And then as soon as that happened, I will hear... or trespassing, and then I will hear right away.
Snow covered.
Guys, that was that exact same whistle that we heard.
Ominous warnings.
Ominous warnings. That was that exact same whistle that we heard. Yo, what the? Yo, what the is? So I woke up. It sounded like something was hitting the top of my tent. Lantern won't work. Come on, you piece of shit. Come on. Yeah, the lantern's screwed. So it sounded like something was hitting the top of my tent. I'm sure you guys heard it. It was loud enough to wake me up. I know I was out.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this content, make sure to subscribe. Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and question everything.